South Florida, a hub of innovation, passion, and sheer grit. Here, an exclusive league of women is reshaping the business landscape. Fast-paced shots of diverse women working, leading meetings, and succeeding. You've seen their success. Now, hear their stories. Close-up inspiring shots of the featured entrepreneurs. Join host Doris with a D as she dives deep to uncover what drives them, what inspires their ambition, and what truly makes these forces of nature the unstoppable women entrepreneurs of South Florida. This week's unstoppable woman is Diva Name, founder and owner of La Mexicana Taco Bar in Wilton Manors. Part 1.
Hello. Welcome to Unstoppable Women Entrepreneurs of South Florida. I'm Doris with a D, and today we're here at La Mexicana Taco Bar in Wilton Manors. And the beautiful owner here is Diva Name. And in a little while, I'm going to let her tell you all about her. But in the meantime, I just want you to know that I am absolutely honored and thrilled and so grateful to be here today. I mean, I've seen your progress, and I've been following you for the longest time. And I got to tell you, you're an inspiration. And everybody needs to know about you. And that's why we're here today, because I want everybody to know about you. And I want every little girl out there who has an inspiration or an idea that she wants to do something big, just like Diva, that they can, because that's what the world is all about. I want you to tell them about your beginnings. I want you to tell them about where you're from, how you came to be who you are today, because I've seen this place grow, and you've expanded it. And I know that you're opening up another place and you're growing your business, your catering business.
Yes.
And like I said, I am just so happy for you. So I'm going to let you take it away now.
Yeah.
And tell them your story.
Thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate all the support. So my name is Diva Name. I'm originally from Colombia, Barranquilla, from the coast. And I have this beautiful restaurant for 10 years now. I started my first business when I was 16. And the idea was just to get some money. That was like what it got me going at that time. I remember that it was like Mother's Day, and I really wanted like some extra cash, and I was with a friend, and we decided, hey, let's have all our friends buying muffins, cupcakes, and cakes from us. And that's how I started the idea at 16 years old. I did that my whole school and university. Mm-hmm. And then when I graduated and I came to the United States, I really wanted to keep going with the catering, with the baking business, but it was very hard. I came to a country that had different rules. I was living with my aunt at that time, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't done it from home. I also started working in the Colombian consulate by that time. So I went to school for business and diplomacy. So I was working in the Colombian consulate.
Were you here in Florida?
No, in New York.
In New York, wow.
So I started working on that, and I got kind of like sucked in, that role. So I stopped dreaming about, being my own boss and, having my business. So I put that in pause. After a couple of months, I realized that, yes, I have a great job at the Colombian consulate, but it was really not my dream.
It wasn't making you happy?
It was not. It was a great experience. I think it really helped me to understand how this country works. And it also taught me that the importance of networking and, get to know people. And if you really want something, learn. Try to know as much as you can first, so that when you start, you don't make that many mistakes. So I learned from a lot of like business people when I was in that position. Mm-hmm. So basically, I was part of the of how can I describe it? So basically, I was helping Colombians in the United States to get resources. It can be, for migratory purposes, or if they needed to access to education, or if they needed to access to medicine, doctor. So my job in the consulate was trying to get these resources for free. And then I would have to, contact another Colombian that they were already successful here, just to, give some help to,
So you were
to the
already
fellows
starting the
Colombia.
networking.
Yes.
And you were getting an idea of how it is that you can do that in order to make things happen.
Bring people together, because at the end of the day, it's about community. It doesn't matter what you do, it's about community.
Right.
So I love that, but my dream was in pause, and then I remember that I started dating this guy back then, and he was involved in the industry, in the hospitality industry. And I don't know, I thought that it was a sign. So I said, you know what, I just wanted to learn. I wanted to learn. I got a side job as a server. So I was fortunate enough that in Colombia, I didn't have to work. My mom paid for my education, and I never had really a job in Colombia besides my business, right? So I wanted to learn how the industry worked here. So I was first a server. I became a bartender. I decided to leave the consulate and go all in the restaurant industry, and I became a manager in that place that I was working. So I worked there for about maybe 3 years, 4 years, and I learned everything. I was so obsessed that I will stay literally hours just learning what was going on. Even I'll give my free time and I'll stay in the kitchen. I learned about inventory, a little bit of everything in the industry. And then when I felt that I was ready, because I knew that I have the knowledge and I knew that my work ethic, it was going to be enough. I just started looking for a place here in Florida. My mom was already living in Miami. I came for vacation to Fort Lauderdale, and I fell in love with the city. And yeah, I started looking for a place. But it was so crazy, because sometimes you have a plan, but the plan, it doesn't go accordingly. But you need to really trust the process and trust God, because God's time is always perfect.
Oh my God.
And when I remember that when I moved here, the place that I saw, it didn't work out. It was a disaster. I have this apartment, I was paying rent, so I was very overwhelmed. I decided to take a step back, and I started working for this company that I love it so much, Living Green Fresh Market. Right now they have a couple of locations, and I learned a lot there about Floridians. The culture here is different from up north. I learned a lot about quality control. Their kitchens, they're super clean, so I love that. I was able to learn so much from them that I said it was so necessary, because maybe
incorporate all that.
Maybe what I have in mind, it was not going to work out.
Right.
So I worked with them for about a year, and until I found this location that I'm fortunate enough to be here. For whoever is being in this property, is beautiful. It's not just because of our restaurant, also for our neighbors, and it's just a destination. It's beautiful to be here. And yeah, I found the place. I met the owner the same day that I came to see the property. It was very spontaneous. I actually
Everything just kind of happened, like you said, divine timing, and then everything just took off.
But also I'm a big believer in the manifestation, because I had it in my mind. I knew that I wanted a place. I knew what I wanted for the place. I wanted a lot of outside, because again, I'm from the Caribbean, so I like to be outside. I don't like to be in the AC all day. And when I came to this location, actually to try my neighbor's coffee, because somebody invited me, and I'm a coffee lover, I saw the space available. The owner was here. We have a conversation. We talk about my plans of opening, and he loved it. And he was a great support for me. I could say that he was my first business mentor, because he literally took me by hand, took me to the city, introduced me to people, and laid down to me steps that I needed to take.
Right.
To be able to succeed in the business.
Right.
So that was huge.
It is, because without that foundation, you can't build anything stable. And you have something very stable here. So you built a great foundation.
You always need people. And again, I always say that I have a guardian angel.
Oh, you do.
Because I always attract, I guess, people that he helped me so much. It really does in different stages in my life when I was starting. Now that we already have 10 years of being in this location, now with the second location that is in process, that is being, also like starting over, basically, with the catering company that is been helping us to support the restaurant through difficult seasons. So it's just like, it's so crazy because sometimes you have this thought of, oh my God, what am I gonna do? What is the next step?
Right.
And you just need to ask. You just need to ask, and I feel that life and God will give you the answers.
Yeah.
You need to be prepared for them, but they're gonna be there. So for you.
And sometimes the answers come in a way where you say to yourself, wow, that has nothing to do with what I just asked. But it blows.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's like there's somebody there who has to come in, guide you, and then bring you to your next step. And that's a beautiful thing. You know what I do? When I don't understand, I say, I need more help.
Yeah.
Have you noticed it comes though? Isn't that amazing?
It does.
Yeah. And it, like I said, and it flows. And that's the best part.
If you keep an open mind, because not all the time it's gonna come in the shape or...
Oh, never. No.
It's not gonna come as you think about it.
You can't even put anything on it. You have to allow whatever it is that's gonna come to help you to just come in whatever form it wants to come.
That's true.
That's the hardest part. I know that's the hardest part for me, and just kind of getting into the flow and the frequency is,
But we have to be flexible.
Yeah.
We have to be flexible. We need to be able to adapt. When I opened this restaurant, it was actually a juice bar, I would call it. The name, it was La Frutera. And I loved that, I was in love with healthy food and smoothies, and all this trend of, acai bowls, it was starting. So, I have like a salad bar, and I loved it, it kind of like remind me back in Colombia that, you will wake up early and, maybe you go in your bike for a little bit, and then you stop in a place and you have a fresh juice. So that's what I wanted. But it was very hard to, really make it as a business. I survived like 3 or 4 years with the business.
Like, how many fruits do you have to sell?
And how many smoothies, how many coffees, shout out to, like, I am honestly to the coffee shops, lessons to them, because it's hard. How many coffees do you have to sell to even be profitable and, to be able to pay your employees and to give back? So for me, it was hard. It was definitely not a success story for that.
But you knew something else had to come.
But I learned a lot also from that experience. And I think my biggest takeaway was like, you need to listen to your clientele and your business. I always like to think that La Mexicana is a woman, and it has this personality, and she's loud, and she likes like bright colors. And and it was so crazy because everybody asked me, why a Mexican restaurant if you're Colombian? And I always said, the business chose me. I never chose to do Mexican food.
Exactly.
But I listened to my customers, and I remember, a customer that one time asked me, hey, can I have that burrito? And it was a wrap. And when he told me that, I said, yes, for sure, I'll give you the burrito. And I remember I had paninis.
Right.
At that point, I have like a cafe license. And I put that burrito in the panini. And when I give it to him, I remember that he was with a group of friends. And he told them, oh, the burrito is amazing. And they start asking for the burrito. And then later on, what I did is that I put more like Mexican items in the menu. And I said, okay, this is definitely the way that we have to go.
So you birthed a new business.
And it was everything like aligned, a customer gifted me our Guadalupe Virgin, that is today our logo.
Right.
So my mom is a big believer in the Virgin, in the Guadalupe Virgin. And so everything kind of like plays together. And I said, you know what? This is La Mexicana. And I think La Mexicana is such a strong name because it represents that community of women that they're so hard worker. And, all Latinas, we're very hard worker. We have a great work ethic. So for me, it was like, this is perfect. Yeah,
you're very kind. You're very loving. You're very open. You're very generous. And it shows. It shows in everything here. I mean, every little corner, every little detail. It's just... mujer,
Thank you.
unstoppable.
Hi, thank you.
Even better, right?
And I feel that it represents hope because I think in the world that we live in, we need to have hope. You know, we need to know that things are going to get better. We just need to be positive. We can't expect things to stay the same because there's always movement. You know, we need to change things. They need to change. Like after 10 years of being in the business, I know that to stay relevant, I need to shift the attention, you know, to another thing. You know, I need to work in my leadership skills. I need to work in the people that works here with me. And, you know, we want to grow. We want to learn. We don't want to stay the same. So that's so important. And I think La Mexicana represents that.
Oh, it
and
does.
I wanted to stay always like that, you know, and be recognized for that as a business, as a team.
I've seen it. You have a woman here who was pregnant and she was working
Yeah.
here.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. She was fabulous.
Yeah.
And she touched everybody's hearts.
Yep.
And then when she had the baby, I got to see the baby and
Yes.
everything. I mean, it
Yes.
was just
Mhm.
absolutely wonderful. And that's a beautiful thing because we're growing.
Yeah.
And if we're not growing, we're dying.
Hmm.
So that's a beautiful thing that you put forward and your staff shows it.
Yeah.
I've never seen staff as happy as yours.
Thank
Just say, I mean, I'm not saying it because I'm here,
Yeah.
because they absolutely envision it. I know one of your servers even convinced me to try the vegan,
Yeah.
and I couldn't believe how delicious everything
Yeah.
was. And then after that, I started just ordering the vegan stuff because it was so awesome. But then again, I got to get back to the vegan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even going to talk about that. This is about you.
Yeah.
When you find yourself in those moments when things are kind of like backing up and things are kind of like slowing, how do you motivate yourself?
I feel that my biggest motivation is really my team. I have this personality that I feel that I can't stop because a lot of people depend on me, and that's really where I get like my strength. And it's always been like that. My mom works here with me, so you know my mom depends on this job. I depend on this job. Most of our staff in the kitchen, they just have this job. With servers, yeah, you know, sometimes they have a job here, they have a job in another place. And sometimes servers, they rotate a little bit more because, you know, they go to school and they do another things.
But you're helping them grow.
Yes, and they're helping us too.
Exactly.
You know, they're helping us like to grow tremendously. So I think that's really my motivation. And also, I always keep in mind that this shall pass. You know, we get so stuck in the moment. And yes, you know, like I try to think about how fortunate I am because I still can come here and work every day, you know, and I still can enjoy, you know, beautiful day outside. I can still walk inside, you know, I can still drive my car coming here. So appreciation and be grateful for those things and trying to focus my mind on that is very important because there is hard times, you know, it's gonna happen and it's never gonna be perfect. It's never gonna be perfect. We're never gonna be like 100% ready, but we give our best every day and we have good days and we have bad days. So I try not to be so hard on myself because I am very hard on myself usually.
Oh, I can imagine.
I work a lot on that. And again, you know, some days are okay, some days no.
But the pivot, which is what
Yes.
you're talking about.
Yes.
The pivot is the most important
Yeah.
thing because if you dwell on the negative, only negative will be seen
Yeah.
and only negative will be perceived
Yeah.
and detracted.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's heavy.
Yes.
But if you pivot, you let that be there for a little bit. You raise your vibration and then guess what? It comes, doesn't it?
And also being honest, like I found that there is a lot of companies that maybe they don't share their struggles with their team.
Uh-huh.
And I try to be as open as I can with my team. And I told them, you know, hey, you know, we're opening the second location, but it's been a lot of issues in the city. You know, it's the process. We thought that it was going to take 8 months. Now we're in a year. And that's been great because I noticed that the more you share, they're involved and they are, you know, because I hope the people that works here, they're going to support us there, you know, to train new staff too. So that's very important. You know, I have conversation. I try to have like very good relationship with my reps, you know, liquor reps, food reps, and just talk with them. Hey, how's everything? How's your day? You know, listen, this is happening here. Is it happening in another restaurant? And just
Right.
have like a conversations
Right.
because we're all connected.
Oh my goodness. Yes, we are.
We're all connected
We're
and we
all the
need to
same.
support each other. So
We're all the same. We all come
yeah.
from the same source. And we're all here for each other. And the quicker we do that,
yeah.
the better off we are.
Thanks for watching this powerful episode featuring unstoppable entrepreneur women of South Florida. It's been a truly insightful time at the leadership table with Doris with a D. Join us next time. You won't want to miss our next guest's story. This show is a proud joint production of SoFloDining and SoFloEmaz. Head over to SoFloDining.com to subscribe for free to our online magazine packed with awesome features, discounts, and South Florida dining tips. SoFloDining is your go-to guide for all things tasty in the Sunshine State. See you soon.